former OMB Director and Center for Renewing America President Russ Vought. Russ, great to see you. Thank you for being here. So, as Chad just referenced, your old boss, Donald Trump, just came out on Truth Social today saying, Take Kevin, give him the job. He didn't use that phrase. He's earned it. And I think that's a lousy phrase. Nobody's earned the job. I mean, it's just, is he the right person for it? So he says, Donald Trump says he should be Speaker, to which you say what?
David, you know I love the president. I think he's the leader of the party. I talked with him about this not too long ago, and he knows where I stand on it. Look, this is an opportunity to change the way Washington, D.C. works. D.C. is controlled by a cartel. That's what Donald Trump came to Washington to change. And he had great success, but the cartel remains, and it will remain. It will remain passing $1.7 trillion omnibus bills that no one reads until the cartel is broken. And we have an opportunity to do that. And everyone talks about, we'll take the win. There is nothing in what has been proposed to House conservatives that would change the cartel and be able to allow House conservatives on behalf of the American people and Donald Trump to be able to stop the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. Nothing. What they have put forward from House conservatives are the specific reforms procedurally, politically, and from a policy standpoint to balance our budgets, to deal with inflation, to stop the appropriators from killing our country with $1.7 trillion omnibus bills that no one has read and has earmarks for all the senators across the land. That has to stop, and they have an opportunity to do that. They're holding strong, and I hope they're able to end this cartel, or at least put it on the road to demise.
Well, Russ, you know that Kevin McCarthy did try to go over to the Senate side, talk to McConnell and do that. He was rebuffed by McConnell. I mean, that was essentially a Senate deal, was it not?
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. He went into a group of 4 meetings with the White House and initially said, I'm all for an omnibus bill, and let's go ahead and get one. It was after his leadership was put in doubt that he changed tune. Then he went over to the Senate Republican lunch, and instead of whipping Senate Republicans to be with House conservatives, he went out and just basically stated their position and didn't actually put the shoulder to the wheel to actually change their position. That's why members don't trust him, because he does stuff like that. And until we have a leader that we can trust, or a rules committee that is controlled by House conservatives and the members representing their voters, we are not going to be able to break the cartel. This is the most historic thing we've seen in the House for a very long time. Chad is right, but it's about real issues. The stakes couldn't be higher, and we can't expect to save the country if we're not willing to seize the leverage points procedurally that are still there for the taking. And that is what these 21 courageous members are doing. I talked to a number of them who have not joined, but they are texting me saying, we're getting ready to vote against McCarthy. The bottom's going to fall out. That's a reason why they are negotiating right now with an adjournment until 8 o'clock. This thing is going against McCarthy until he decides to change direction, and he does not have the votes unless he's willing to do that.
Well, I'm giving you a lot of time, Russ, because of the fact that I don't think your side has been hearing enough, but at the same time, it doesn't mean I agree with you, but I know what the swamp is. I grew up in D.C. It's everything you say it is, and it is well entrenched. We've seen it in not only in Congress, but with these Twitter files. You can see how it happens with the CIA, a whole nest of swamps inside the Beltway. And another example of it, by the way, happened in Kentucky today, where we had Mitch McConnell, the Republican Senate leader, who did play a key role in passing that omnibus, saying it somehow represented Republican values, even though it was laden with pork. Here he is meeting with the president. They were touting the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. So it does exist. I'm just wondering if in opposing McCarthy, the rebels are putting poison into the next 2 years of operating, in which the House could put a break on the damage that the Senate Republicans have done.
No, I think they're getting the Senate's attention. I think for the first time, we're beginning to see the coalitional government that's necessary to represent the American people. If the cartel members are not going to represent their constituents, it's incumbent on this 21 and growing bloc to be able to exercise a veto on what the House does and to ensure that Mitch McConnell and the Senate leadership and those interests use the filibuster effectively. This all builds towards being able to use the powers in the minority in the Senate to be able to stop Biden administration. That's where this is headed. And I think everything you've seen over the last 2 days is building that kind of veto that can be used effectively by these 21 and growing members.
And again, very quickly, Russ, and if you could do it in about 30 seconds, just summarize what that rule change would be that the rebels are holding out for.
There's a lot of things, and I'm not going to speak for them, but one of the main things that they've been focused on is procedurally how you ensure that the Rules Committee, which does everything procedurally in the House, is either chaired by a real HFC-style conservative or has enough conservatives on that committee. And that's what we need. We need to ensure that we return to an independent Rules Committee, which we once had in the House of Representatives. We can return there again. If McCarthy moves in that direction, I think there's going to be a lot of support among the members.
Russ Vought, great to see you, Russ. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.